In the last chapter, we spent some time talking about offset. This is where we take an existing line and we create a copy of that line, a known distance away from the original. It creates a parallel line. Offset's best friend in editing is going to be fillet. So if you haven't already, please open the project and you can follow along. This one should be really simple. Let's go ahead and jump into the screen. I've got two parallel lines created by using the 2-inch offset function. I've got one that's blue on top and red on the bottom. Since these lines are 2 inches apart all the way along, and we can check that by going into distance, parallel, select one, then the other, it says 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, all along those lines. These lines will never meet. No matter how long we extend these along, it will continue to be 2 inches apart between the lines. Now, just above the offset button, we have fillet. If I try to connect these lines using fillet, I'll get an error that says these elements must be able to intersect. So I'm going to go ahead and drag down a little bit. I've got two lines that are not parallel with the fillet selected. And when you touch on fillet in the action bar, sharp fillet is what comes up as a default. That's probably what you're going to use the most often. Select one of the lines. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a fair amount here. And as soon as I select the next line, it will create a corner where they're closer together, which is on the left side. Now that corner, it's way over there, right? So I'm going to zoom out a bit. You can see that it extends out quite a bit. It's really rare you're going to have that sharp of a corner in a construction countertop project. In most cases, the software will limit your ability to do some of this as of fall of 2023. Okay. Here's another example. These lines are not parallel. I did put a little cross on the end point, or the snap point on the left side. So when we see, I click on one, click on the other, they extend way past those original points until they meet way over here. We talked about parallel lines. Let's talk about perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines will create a square corner. In some construction projects, you need to create intentionally a perfectly square corner. A range opening would be a common example in the context of a countertop. I want each of those front corners to be nice and square, right? But there's a gap in between these. Again, fillet. I'm in sharp fillet. Pick one, then the other, and it creates a nice closed corner. It closes the gap between those lines. I've got some other perpendicular lines in different arrangements here. I've got the blues are vertical and the reds are horizontal. You can see in this example, these lines extend past each other. You can also use the fillet to shorten or trim those lines. I'll click one, then the other. It shortens those to make a nice, clean corner. In this case, I've got the red line going too far and the blue line not going far enough. Doesn't matter which one I click first. Click one, click the other, I get a nice corner. Similar, but different here. The blue's longer, the red's not long enough. Click on one, click on the other, I get that nice, tight, clean corner. Let's use fillet in a couple extra instances. In this case, I've got 4 lines. Let's use fillet and sharp fillet to connect the corners and create a closed shape. Fillet, I pick one, and then next, I would need to pick that line I just picked. Again, you'll see it highlight blue, and we get the preview if you are using a mouse. I'm going to use a mouse here so you can really see my cursor and where I'm clicking and touching, and we get a closed shape. Pretty straightforward. Now, I'm going to scroll and we're going to get a shape that's a little different. I've got a red line way off to the side I've got blue lines here. This is pretty simple. We've already done something like that. Okay. In this case, I want to close this shape and create a long rectangle. However, most of the line is extended out here, and this is what I don't want, way out on the ends. What I do want is these little small pieces. So to make this corner, I find it's easier to zoom in, especially when you're on the touchscreen. Zoom in quite a bit. I pick the side of the line I want to keep on each of the lines, and you'll see it'll give you the preview of what you'll have when you're done. If you're using the touchscreen, press pan lock. That's the corner I want. I'm going to undo to show you what happens if I click the larger side of the line. If I click here and here, I get that corner instead. So where you click on the line does matter. Now, I don't have to click directly on the line because we have our snap points. It's just going to be, am I clicking on the screen area anywhere here or up here, right? So for the red line, if I click anywhere here, you can see it's highlighted because I'm using a mouse, which is convenient. I'd click anywhere over here. It knows to keep this side of the line. For the light blue or the cyan line, I do get that preview after I picked the red line side that I want to keep. Anywhere down here, we get that little corner. I'll zoom out a bit. Pick our lines and complete our rectangle. So again, just to review, when you have lines that have already crossed over each other, you want to click on the side of the line that you want to keep. The other side will be trimmed off.